tiny bit of flavor of spring in the air. And, the blusteriness of it was really beautiful too. And one of the things when I have that kind of feeling that spring's coming, I think about the yoga, the niyamas of yoga. So if you're unfamiliar with the niyamas of yoga, there are these personal things that we can do, kind of like individual internal actions that we can cultivate within us to help us along the way. So the yamas and the niyamas are kind of part of this path of yoga, and they're not the asanas or the physical aspects of yoga, but more the internal disciplines that we cultivate. So the saucha, which is one of the niyamas, is a word that just means purity or cleanliness. And it's not just about cleanliness of the body, like making sure that you're showering regularly, but really the aspect of trying to purify yourself. And I think this is an element of what I felt this weekend in the weather is that, kind of some renewal and the wind kind of blowing through, the sun coming, the warmth. It's an inkling that spring is coming, and maybe some spring cleaning comes along the way. And think about when you've cleaned out a drawer or a room or a closet or a garden or something, where you get that feeling of not only accomplishment, like you've done something fruitful, but also that feeling of clear space. Everybody knows this feeling, right? That how good it feels to have clear space around you. And this is the essence of saucha, that we're trying to create that clarity and spaciousness within ourselves and in our environment as well, so that we can have a clear mind. So, of course, this means the body, purifying the body, going through our asana practice, moving our bodies, getting into all the little nooks and crannies. This is such a beautiful thing about our asana, our yoga, physical yoga practice, is that it really touches most often in a class. In a practice, we touch into just about everywhere in our body, at least a little bit. And it's a beautiful feeling to kind of touch every part of you and wake up every part of you and create space in your body. So that feeling of openness that comes is such a beautiful sense. And this is saucha. And we can come into it from the physicality, but we can also come at it from the mentality. So, what radio station are you locked into in your thinking mind? Do you have a group of thoughts that tend to replay themselves over and over? And are they thoughts that are feeding you well, or are they thoughts that are not feeding you well? And if they're not, how do we make an adjustment so that we can put our attention toward what we want to grow? So whatever we put our mind and attention toward grows within us. We attract things to us this way. But also whatever we ignore tends to, or not ignore, but whatever we choose to let go of and not obsess over in our thoughts tends to die on the vine. So if you're having a replay of something that's either A, not true, or B, creating suffering in you, like maybe a fear for the future or something in the past that you ruminate about, or, everybody's got their little trails that they go down in their mind. If you can learn to create that sense of purity in your thoughts, this is much harder than the purity in the body. This will create that big open blue sky feeling inside your own mind. So we can do this in all of our being, in our emotional body, in our physical body, in our mental body. We can have this sense of clarity through all the koshas. And saucha, this is the work of saucha, is to create this, this clarity and this clearing out. So one thing to remember is that if you come across like, okay, I've got a habit, I don't drink enough water, and I really should be drinking more water, instead of like browbeating yourself over the fact that you don't drink enough water and getting upset with yourself, don't let saucha be a shameful or, aggressive act within your mind. It's just a pathway to help us. The niyamas are given to us. It's also amazing to me that the conditions of the human is the same now as it was when the sutras was written a very long time ago, and we're still struggling with the same stuff. It's just our nature. So know that these things are our nature, and we need some guidance along the way. It's in our nature to ruminate in the mind. The monkey mind is in our nature. So don't beat yourself up when you're not doing like a good job at keeping the clear, open sky inside your mind and body. Okay, so let's sit up straight and tall and think about a way in which a physical habit that you have that's really healthy and good and alleviates suffering. So that's really what saucha is all about: is cultivating skill to alleviate suffering in the mind and body. So let's first have deep gratitude for some aspect of your routine of caring for your body that is really nurturing and good for you. Your yoga practice is a perfect example. And maybe there's something else that you're thinking of too. So just take a moment to have joy and gratitude for what's working well. And then is there something that needs a little clearing in your body? Is there a part of your body that you need to focus on in your practice today, kind of opening up and get rid of the stickiness? Or is there a habit that you're trying to shift a little bit to end some of the suffering that we can have in our physical bodies? So just take a moment to know that the goal of changing this behavior is to end suffering. It's not to be perfect, it's not to do the right thing, it's to make yourself feel better. The better you feel in your body, the more bandwidth you have for the other pursuits in your life. And the same with the mind. So now let's move into the mind and celebrate a really healthy habit that you have. Do you lean to gratitude often? Do you notice things around you that are beautiful? Do you tend to send love around you or feel love around you? What are some healthy mind habits that you have? Are you able to focus well? So take a moment to celebrate something in the habits of your mind that creates clarity, spaciousness, freedom, dampens down suffering of the mind. And now maybe look toward a mind habit that isn't so healthy, creates some suffering. Do you ruminate? Do you chew on a bone? Are you a grudge holder? Are you a worrier? Do you have trouble concentrating? What are some of the things that cause you some stress or suffering by the habit that you have? And once again, not browbeating yourself over it, but rather just noticing what happens, what part of you suffers from the way this part of your mind works. And can you have just a little bit of room around it to cultivate some change? Is there a way that you can redirect the mind, clear things out so that what's coming in is serving you, what you're putting your attention towards is serving your highest good? Move into your body again and just drop into the present moment. One of our greatest tools for cultivating saucha is the breath. It's this pure cleansing element that's available every moment of the day. So as you breathe here, see if you can feel the clarity of the breath, feel the renewal of the breath. The other aspects of saucha is being in flow. If we get stuck in our bodies, our mind, we lose flow. And saucha, clarity, openness, cleanliness, spaciousness, lives in flow. So feel not only the cleansing nature of the breath, but the flow of your breath. the flow of energy through your body. Having a deep sense of surrender through your face, your eyes, your shoulders. Are there tension patterns that block your flow, that block your breath, that make you feel stuck? And then place your hands, one right where your diaphragm is, kind of at the base of your sternum, and then one on your belly. And if this isn't comfortable, just move your hands where you want them to be. And let's feel the diaphragm move. See if you can just get in touch with the sensation of a mobile, free, flowing diaphragm. You can move your hands around and hold your rib cage if you want, to the bottom edge of your ribs, feeling where the diaphragm meets the ribs. Maybe even into the back of your body. And then release the arms. Bring the hands to the heart or to the third eye. And just set an intention for your practice. All right, and let's release the hands and come onto your back. So let's begin. Lie flat and know that the breath is the first flow that we're trying to cultivate. So as you get going, first and foremost, feel the movement of your breath. We will feel the movement of our body shortly. Start to stoke that rhythm and get in touch with the rhythm of your breathing. See what you can do in your practice. As always, let's try to tether ourselves to this flow of breath so that nothing moves without it. We don't go anywhere without our breath. We're trying really deep awareness around not holding the breath. As you lie down here, what's guarding the breath? Do you notice any tension in your neck or shoulders? Do you have any binds in your belly or around your ribs that prevent things from moving freely? All right, and then let's start to stretch the body too. So reach into space, lengthen the arms overhead. If it's comfortable, stretch your limbs. One side, stretch the other side. Open up the side ribs a little bit, come into space. And then bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit. And even just a simple act of rocking to and fro stimulates flow in the body. So see if you can stay in movement, whether it's the movement of the breath or the movement of the body. Right knee into the chest, stretch the left leg long on the floor, roll out your ankles and wiggle your toes. So a lot of times when we get stuck, if we can just first open up the edges of our body, switch sides, left knee in, right foot, and move those feet around. So if we can move into the edges of our body, sometimes we can do a lot to start moving energy. It's kind of like if you have long hair, you try to comb out your hair. If you start from the top, you're never going to get anywhere. You got to start from the edges first and work your way from there. So everybody bring your hands up in the air and let's roll our wrists around a little bit. You can roll your ankles too. Go the other way, just feel some movement, and then shake out your hands or roll around your fingers, just warming up your hands a little bit, and then we're going to open and close our fists pretty fast. Okay, so notice if you have more control on one side than the other, and how quickly you can get fatigued in your hands and forearms. Shake that out, lift your arms up overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, knees and head in, all your breath out. This next time we're going to hold our breath and squeeze. Stretch out to a starfish, squeeze all your muscles, all your air in. Hold your breath for a moment. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the way your fingers and toes. And then all your air out, knees into your chest, head up, squeeze your breath out and hold it out. Squeeze your face, your feet, your core. And then deep breath in, a little softer here. Open your body out from navel to edges. Exhale, bring your body in toward the center. One more time. Enjoy the flow of breath. Enjoy the openness of a moving body. You don't have to do anything super vigorous to get the stickiness out of your body, to get that sense of saucha, of clearing out. As come onto all fours, roll over onto your side, and find your way onto your hands and your knees. Okay, let's come to all fours and start moving into some cat-cows. So arching and rounding the spine, taking your time to notice, what does your vertebrae feel? What do your vertebrae feel like right now? Are there any stuck spots? Can you find the sticky spots and bring some flow? Bring some movement. What are the things that you do to clear your mind? Do you take a walk to clear your mind? Do you clear out a closet to clear your mind? You know, are there things that help you clear space in body, mind, or environment that helps you? All right, let's go ahead and swirl around. See what it feels like to move your shoulders, to move your hips, to roll, and get into any nooks and crannies you can find that you haven't discovered yet in your vertebrae. And then find all fours again. You can shake out your wrists one at a time if you're feeling vulnerable on your wrists. And I want you to just feel your breath for a moment. So we're going to let our belly drop on our inhale, and then bring our belly back in toward our spine on our exhale. Just start to feel the correct movement of the diaphragm in relation to the transverse abdominis. We want space on the inhale, and we want to move the diaphragm back in and up on our exhale. It's very difficult for some people to find this. So just practice here on all fours where things might be a little easier to drop. A lot of times people have more trouble releasing the belly and diaphragm than hugging it back in. So if you tend to be a habitual belly tensor, diaphragm tensor, you might have a hard time letting it go. All right, and then let's go ahead and find our way up to dog pose. Stretch through your spine. Lengthen through everything you can find. So let's now find all the nooks and crannies in our legs a little bit. So pedal your feet, bend one knee, stretch the opposite heel down. You can move your hips around if you want and kind of draw one knee past the midline as your other hip lifts. Just find all the little places and then spread out the bones of the feet. Spread out the arches of the feet, lift up the femur bones all the way into the hip joints and take those thigh bones back. See what you can do to elongate the vertebrae here. Stretch into the index finger mounds, the thumbs. See if you can find that sense of connection so that we're not leaning in the outer rims of the body. Relax your neck. Feel the flow of breath. And then come back down onto all fours. Lift the left arm up. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, slide that arm underneath. Pay attention to the back side of the body. Can you feel where the rib cage and the spine touch each other? Can you find those joints? And what might it feel like if you're turning to the right? What might it feel like to spread your left ribs away from the spine a little bit and just snug up the right ribs toward the spine a little bit? Relax your neck. And then inhale and reach that arm all the way to the sky and place the hand down onto the ground. Right arm lifting up in the air, slide that right arm underneath you. Finding your twist. If you're twisting to the left, let's go ahead and feel first just the back body. Can you feel where your ribs meet the spine? Breathe into that space. Relax your neck. And then see what it might feel like to slightly draw the left ribs toward the vertebrae and move the right ribs away from the vertebrae, right where they attach. How's the flow of your breath? And then inhale to reach that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground. Come on up to dog pose again. Second time around, what's different? Can you feel the bottom of your feet? Do you have some openness? How are your calves? Do you need bouncing, rocking, swaying, moving? Do you need stillness? How's your breath? Stay in the flow as best as you can. Bring your feet forward now. Come into Uttanasana, fold in half. Remember, you can always bend your knees as much as you need to. Feel free to move around. You can roll around your shoulders, move around your neck, sway your hips, wag your tail. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine is growing. You can hold the thighs or the shins. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet. Rise all the way up. Bring the arms, if you're comfortable, to the sky. Open your chest. Big blue sky inside your chest. How big and spacious can you get your chest to feel? And then release the arms. Shrug your shoulders. Let's get some glideability in the shoulder blades. Unstick your shoulder blades to your ribs. Go the other direction. Notice if you have any, snap crackles, little pops in there. Okay. And then shake out your hands again. Remember, we're getting to the edges. Shake out the energy. Let it flow all the way through to your fingertips. Okay, and then bring your hands out. Press your palms toward the walls. Lift one ear. Then lift the other ear. Let's just get into some of the nerve glides, opening up some channels in the upper body. And then release the arms and shake them again. All right, let's move the rib cage a little bit. So we've done this lots. Take your feet out wider than your hips or in line with your hips, whatever feels good. And we're going to let our hips move with us. We're not trying to stabilize our pelvis. So let the arms be like a pendulum. Just feeling that flow. Let your knees bend if you want. And the key here is to loosen up the rib cage. See what it feels like where the spine and the rib cage meet. Find some mobility. A lot of times we get stuck in the breath, and we're going to try to free up the breath a lot today. How are you breathing well? And now start to move this so you're bending deeper and stretching through your side body. Coming into a squat in between. You can move much slower than I'm moving. You can move much faster, whatever feels natural to you. All right, and then come back. And you're going to bounce just a little bit. You don't have to leave the floor. You can jump if you want. And you can also just bounce. See what your knees are feeling like. So you can shake out your hands. Or just getting things moving, energy moving in the body. Saucha loves flow. All right, and then pause. Now feel your yielding. Feel the earth below you. Can you feel the grounding? Can you feel it's a different type of flow? Letting yourself yield into the earth and receive something back. How is your diaphragm right now? Are you able to relax the belly on the inhale? All right, we're going to warm up our diaphragm a little bit. Most of you have done this with me. I'm going to show you this from the side, just in case you've not done this. And I can't, it's hard to do this and talk at the same time. So you can let your spine move a little bit with this, but just in the beginning, the first round of this, we're going to take a deep breath in and relax the belly, and then exhale and draw the belly in. So just back and forth, moving the diaphragm. When you do this, notice which is harder. Is it harder for you to fully let the belly go? Or is it harder for you to draw the belly back in? Try to synchronize the transverse abdominis, your deep abdominal muscle that holds your organs in. See if you can synchronize the movement of the TA, the transverse abdominis, with the diaphragm. Let the two become friends, that they are just rowing the boat together. They're like canoe partners that are perfectly in sync with each other. So just find that sense that there is flow out on the in-breath and there's flow in on the out-breath. Flow, breath. It does not matter how fast you're breathing, how slow you're breathing, go what feels good to you. Okay, and then come up to stand. Now, the second round of this is definitely a little bit more challenging if you have trouble with being able to regulate that transition of expansion and condensement on the inhale and the exhale. Then you just stay with what we just did to try to figure that movement out, to try to learn how to release the diaphragm on the inhale. It's a really important skill to learn for healthy breathing. So if you're not quite getting it, you stay there. If that pattern felt good for you, you're going to do step 2 on this. So we're going to come, I definitely can't do this and talk. So first I'll talk and then I'll demonstrate it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to let all our air out. Notice how I'm kind of locked out in my shoulders and elbows. Normally I say don't ever lock out anything, but this will help you relax your belly so that you're kind of grounded on your legs. So we're going to take a deep breath in, exhale, hold your exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest, and then you're going to pump your diaphragm. And it doesn't have to be very many times. It could be 2 or 3 or 4 times. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't want to get yourself out of breath. And then you're going to stand up and you're going to repeat it after you come back to a little bit of neutral for a moment. So let me show you. Deep breath in, exhale, tuck my chin. And then I come up. All right, so go ahead, try it. Now, pumping your diaphragm fast like I just did is not so easy. So if it's not something that you, don't worry if you can't go fast, just go to the pace you can go. Better to go slow and train your body to feel that movement than to be screwing up all over the place and have no idea what you're doing. So slow down enough where you really can feel the action of moving your belly out, diaphragm out on your in-breath, pulling your diaphragm and PA back in on your out-breath. Don't go too far before taking a break. Okay, so remember, we're holding our out-breath, so we're low on oxygen, so we don't want to stay too long. And maybe do 2 or 3 rounds of that. Now, if you're just trying to figure out how to breathe, then we're just here on our knees, inhaling, exhale. Okay, so you find what's working for you. And then once you are done, stand back up, shake out your wrists. Notice if you're dizzy. So if you're lightheaded or dizzy, you did too much. Okay, so let's just pause here for a moment. Yield. Let your diaphragm move. Inhale, reach your arms if they're able to up, grab onto one wrist and reach over to the side. Feel the length through the side of your body. Okay, we're going to stabilize with our knees here. Okay, we're going to come forward, 2 fists out, come around to the other side, and up you go. Hold on to the wrist, extend, breathe. And then we're going to swing back around to the other side and all the way up. Spread open your wings. Deep breath. All right, let's start flowing in our practice now. So arms to the sky, breathing deeply. Exhale and fold forward. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step left foot back, right foot stays forward, finding a lunge. Blocks are so nice if you want them. Extend through your spine, breathe deeply here. Create some length in your neck. All right, let's move. Straighten your front leg. Enjoy the feeling of getting that stretch sensation in the hamstrings and in the hip flexors as you go back and forth, bending and straightening that knee with breath. Stay in the flow. Enjoy the sensation. So what a great thing it is to stretch things open. So enjoy the stretch sensation. And when you're ready, place your knee down onto the ground and lift your arms up to the sky. Be where you want to be with your arms. So they do not have to be straight up. They can be anywhere that feels really nice for your body. Experiment what feels best. Hug into the midline with your legs. Hug your front heel and back knee. Support yourself with your lower body so the upper body can be the big blue sky. And then we're going to just gently find a twist here. Forearm comes to the knee. So don't go really deep. Don't lean forward. Stay upright. Just place your forearm down and lift the spine. Open across your chest. Feel the hip flexor of that back leg open and breathe into it. And then come back around. 2 hands onto the ground. Step back to a plank. Open up the breath here. How is your diaphragm moving? Can you feel your side ribs expand and condense? Lower yourself down safely to the floor. Stretch your legs. Engage through your core. Take a breath in. Come up. Let the exhale take you back down. Try not to stay holding the breath. Find your cobra pose and release back down onto the floor. Come up onto all fours. Once again, find all the nooks and crannies in your spine. What's here? What can you discover? How's the flow of your breath? Find your way back to dog pose. Extending. Bring your left foot forward to a lunge. Open the heart. Are you enjoying your practice? Are you enjoying being in the flow? Are you enjoying being in your body? Are you present inside of yourself? How is that channel in the mind that always plays? Have you taken a back, has it taken a back seat to the presence of this moment? Let's move, bending your front knee, straightening your front knee, feeling the stretch through your hamstring, your hip, feeling the stretch through the hip flexor of the back leg. All right, let's put the back knee down onto the ground. Lift yourself up. So try not to fall. So collapse doesn't give us flow. Collapse gives us blockage. So feel the energy move. Drink up from the floor. Lift into this open torso. Bring your breath into a big blue sky. Imagine your rib cage, your chest is like the Colorado blue sky. So much room, so clear, so crisp, so open, so free. And then take your forearm onto your knee and discover your spine before you twist. So elongate, lengthen, find your midline with your legs, feel your stability, open yourself up. And then come back around. Come onto all fours. Find your hands again onto the earth. Cat-cow, anything that feels good. Renew your spine. Maybe sway your hips, move like a fish. Breathe. And let's go ahead and take the left leg straight back behind you. Right arm out in front of you. Engage. Find your muscle strength. Breathe into your length. Exhale, breathe into your core. Hug the navel in, elbow and knee come in. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, bring it in. Use your TA and your diaphragm. Get to know that feeling. And reach that arm and leg out. Place the hand and knee down onto the ground. Come back onto your heels. Shake out your hands again. Let energy flow. Try not to get stuck. Place the hands back down. Right leg out. Left arm out. Feel the cross hemisphere work in the body. Engage the back body, glutes, hamstrings, spine. Find a deep length on your inhale. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale one more time. Exhale. Extend. Place the hand down, place the foot down, all the way up to dog pose. Breathing deeply here. Feel your rib cage all around. Open the rib cage up, get spacious. Breathe deeply, let things flow. Release tension through your skull. Feel the yielding into the earth. Open up the bottom of your feet. Open up the soles of your hand, the soles of your feet and the palms of your hand. Get rooted. Lift the right leg up in the air. Stack open the hip. Take a deep breath into your side. Exhale, square it up, knee to chest. Inhale, bring it back again. Exhale, bring your foot forward to a lunge. Rise up, bring the arms up. Extend through your spine. Exhale, hands onto the blocks. Walk up into a half splits. Use your glutes. Extend through your spine here. Exhale and tuck knee behind knee. Feel the diaphragm work. Inhale, expand your spine, stretch through your foot. Exhale, one more time, tuck in. Stay here. Decide, maybe your arms can come out to the side. Maybe your hands are at your heart. Maybe hands are staying on the blocks. Maybe one hand to your heart, one hand on the block. We either stretch out into Virabhadrasana 3 or stretch out into hands on blocks, half splits. Take a deep breath in, place your foot down next to the other foot, fold in half. Breathe deeply. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Shake out your wrists while you're here. Rise up, lifting the arms, open your chest, big blue sky. Exhale and relax. Hop, jump, shake. Move your body, okay? Let things move, okay? Breathe. Find stillness for a moment. Just relax. Can you feel flow inside your body? Can you bring your breath into that energetic flow? Arms up as you breathe in. Exhale and fold forward. Relax your neck. Halfway lift. Back to dog pose you go. Spine is growing. Inhale the left leg up in the air. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, bring it on back. Exhale, foot forward. Take your time. I'm moving, kind of moving, flowing. So if you're a little ahead or behind, no worries, be at your pace. Breathe your way into an open pose, big blue sky in your chest again. Imagine the big sky. Exhale, hands down onto the ground. Hop up onto that foot. Extend the leg in the air. Square your hips, extend the spine. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel your core engage, tucking in. Do that once more. Push off your foot, lengthen your legs and spine. Exhale, coming back in. Pause here. Maybe you're out with your arms. Maybe your palms are at your heart. Maybe your hands are on the blocks. Do whatever feels stable for you. Shoulders away from the ears. Keep breathing. And then push out into Virabhadrasana 3 or into half splits. Find your breath. Exhale, foot down next to your other foot. Drain the tension away, relax. Breathe. Rise up again. This time, place your hands to your heart. Can you feel your rib cage move as you breathe? Is your diaphragm able to move well? Bring your arms down at your sides. Is it easier for you to let your belly go? Release. Get big in your belly. All right, let's shake out our hands one more time. Just give them a good shake. And we're going to step our right foot forward, our left foot back, shorten up your stance so that we are not too long. Open up your chest, maybe arms come up, out, hands on hips. Feel the chest rise, and then extend forward a little bit. Feel the work of your legs. Root your feet into the earth. Feel the extension of your spine. And then rise up, lift your arms. We're just twisting open. Our legs are straight. Drop the shoulders. How's your belly? Are you able to expand and contract the belly? And come back up. Back foot comes forward. Step your front foot back. Same thing on this side. Shorter stance, so we're not going into a full lunge. Open up your breath. Find your movement of your arms. Where do they want to be? Out, down, flattered, up. What's giving you space? Maybe your hands come onto your hips to extend forward a little bit. Feel the rooting of your feet. There's work in that front hamstring. It's not just stretching, it's flexing and stretching. And then come on up, arms come up, twist to the side. Inner spiral the thighs, feel the spine grow, drop the shoulders down. And then release. Walk your back foot forward, shake out your wrists one more time. Step your front foot or your left foot, back. Short stance again. Hands can be on the hips to begin, and then lift your, wrong arm. Lift your left arm up. Take a deep breath in, reach forward. You can stack your blocks one on top of the other if you want. You can have one block, whatever is best for your body. Before we turn and do Pavrita Trikonasana, find the legs and the spine. Root into the big toe, reach that hip back. Inner spiral the thighs, sit bones widen. Hug to the midline with your outer femur bones so that you're not swaying a hip off to the side. Extend the spine. As you start to twist, use your breath. Stay rooted in the feet. See what it feels like to use your exhales, the transverse abdominis, the obliques, the diaphragm moving together to twist you. Every inhale getting longer, more spacious, more full in your ribs. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe your arm comes up, maybe your head turns, maybe your hand stays on your hip, maybe your head stays pointing the floor. Find what works for you. What about those ribs? Can you feel that sensation of moving your right ribs toward the spine, left ribs away from the spine in the back body? All right, and then relax. Melt your back foot, come forward, fold a lot. So bend pretty good. You can even wrap your arms behind your legs if you want. All right, and then come up. We're going to step our right foot back. Our left foot is forward. So blocks, if you like them, have them available for Pavrita Trikonasana. You can have your legs wider apart left to right. They don't have to be on a tightrope. Okay, so extend through the spine. Let's reach the right arm up in the air, left hand on your hip. Reach forward and bring your hands down onto the blocks before you twist. So don't go right into it. Find your legs first. Yield into the earth. Rebound through your legs. Inner spiral the thighs, sit bones widen. So a little teeny anterior tilt to the pelvis. We have a neutral lumbar curve. Root the big toe as you pull that hip back. Extend the spine. Try to keep the hips compact so you're not letting the hip push out to the side. Extend the spine more. Breathe into the twist. Use your muscles in your belly. See what you can do to take the ribs close to the spine on the left, away and rolling under on the right. How's your breath moving you? How are you stable? How are you free? How is your breath? All right, and then release your hand down. Step back to dog pose. Extend through the spine. Feel neutral. Symmetry. Relax the skull. Try not to fall. Rise up. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady here. Breathe deeply. Put your knees down onto the ground if you need to, and find your way to the floor. Everything stretches out. Legs wide, arms wide, everything up. Feel your diaphragm. Little push-ups for your diaphragm on the floor. And then melt. Turn your head one way. Pick up your feet and rock left and right. All right, come on up. We're going to walk our feet forward and come up to stand. Take your legs wide on your mat. Okay. Finding your breath. And come to a wide squat. Bring your elbows inside your knees. Spread open the bones of your feet. Drop your hips down so they're in line with your knees or higher, not lower just yet. Extend the spine. Spin your feet. So press your toes into the floor and turn them out. Press your heels into the floor and turn them in. And then come on up. Now, if you're dizzy, just stay here. Okay, we're gonna, or not here, but we're gonna stay in goddess pose. If you are not dizzy, if you're, the up downs of the flow that we're doing today is not aggravating you, because we're moving a little faster, so sometimes a lot of the up down can be irritating for blood pressure issues. So if that's you, you just get to stay in goddess pose for a moment. If you're able to comfortably move, we're going to move. So arms up, open sky, exhale, hands in. Breathe. Pump like a billow in your belly. Last one, and then we're going to stay in goddess. Open your breath. Hug your sacrum with your hips muscles. See if you can feel those glute muscles hug on. After the twisting, can you feel that stabilizing? Open up all the muscles in your legs. Get some juice, some blood flow. Spread open the bones of your feet. Big open sky with your arms. Open your chest. Deep breaths. Okay, and then go ahead and stand up. Last time through a vinyasa. Take your hands down onto the front of your mat. Dog pose. If you want to just come into child's pose and skip the vinyasa, you can. If you're ready to move, inhale, come forward into a plank. Exhale, maybe just to up dog, maybe not cobra. You decide. And back you go. Come bring your knees onto the floor and rest in child's pose. Feel the back body breathe. So as you feel the breath move through you, see if you can relax. So this is a very nurturing, introspective posture. Let the flexion in your knees and your hips be soothing. Support yourself however you need with bolsters behind knees or bolsters under your belly. All right, let's go ahead and come out of there and get on the edge of a blanket. And if you can, sit on the short edge of the blanket. So if you have a blanket folded this way, sit on this edge. All right, we're going to I'll give plan A, B, and C. Okay, so plan A is our right leg is going over our left with your foot on the floor, and you tuck your left foot next to your right hip, knees bent. If your knees or hips are not okay with this, then you get to straighten out your left leg on the floor and your right knee is crossed over. If you're still not okay, if you're nervous about this kind of twist because of something that's going on with your spine, let's go ahead and open the leg and not cross it over. So if you're vulnerable to twisting, if you have disc issues, whatever else going on, seated twists are the most challenging. So you can just skip this and go on your back if you want. This open twist where we bring our elbow to the inner knee is the least pressure inducing on the spine. So choose this one if you've got a little spinal stuff going on. If you have some hip stuff going on, but not some spine stuff going on, you can straighten the leg, cross the knee over, and come into a Marichiasana twist. And then if you want to get your hips involved in some action, so then you can be in the plan A. So A, B, or C. Pick your pose, and we're going to do the same, regardless of what's going on in your body. Like maybe you got one knee or one hip or something. We're going to do the same pose on both sides. So make sure you can do this pose, whatever you're choosing, on the other side. Breathe deeply and decide. If you're crossing, you can wrap your elbow around your knee. You can put your elbow to the outer knee. Always remember that we are not creating a shape and then trying to fill it in. We are filling into a shape. So it's easy to just push bone on bone and crank yourself into a twist and then try to figure out where to go from there. Don't do that. See if you can be very light in your pressure of knee or arm on leg. Lift the spine, neutral lumbar curve. We're on the front of our sit bones. The spine is growing. The collarbones broaden. See what the twist feels like in the breath and the diaphragm. Bring things out a little bit. How about the ribs? Can you move them toward the spine? If you're twisting right, take your right ribs toward the spine and roll the left around. And then come back to center, and let's find the same pose on the other side. Okay, so if you're doing the hip one, then you can just switch your legs. If you are straightening your leg and crossing the foot over, you can do that. And if you're doing an open twist, you're going to be putting the elbow on the inside of the knee. Okay, so you do you. You might be twisting left or right, depending on whether you're doing the open or closed twist. Just make sure you're going the opposite way, that you are doing opposite from what you just did a moment ago. Front edge of the sit bones, neutral lumbar curve, long spine. Try not to hold bone on bone. Let the leverage just be there for support and structure, not for leverage. Let the breath be the leverage that moves you. The obliques, the transverse abdominis, the diaphragm, all working in concert to twist you. If you are twisting to the left, let the left ribs move toward the spine. Let your right ribs roll away and wrap around. Spine grows. And then unwind your way out of there. Straighten your legs. Shake out your legs. Shake out your hands. Okay, we're going to come onto our back now. Bring the knees into the chest. Now, for some people, knees in feels really good after twisting. For other people, we need to do more of a restorative back bend. So you can choose either putting a block underneath your pelvis and opening up the hip flexors a little bit for a restorative bridge pose to kind of set the SI joints like puzzle pieces. That might feel nice to your body. It also might feel nice to your body to bring your knees in or to come into happy baby pose. So experiment, see which one feels best, and then whichever you feel like, oh yeah, that feels awesome, let's stay there. Okay, so everybody's different for what they need post twists, either a little bit of forward folding or a little bit of back bending. Whatever you're doing, flow the breath. When you are ready, and there's no rush at all. If you're like, oh, I just want to stay here, then just stay here. But whenever you're ready, you can find Shavasana. So Shavasana always can take so many different forms. You can be with legs up the wall with your calves up on a chair or a couch. You can be with legs up the wall, straight up the wall. You can be flat on your back with no support. You can have some blankets underneath your knees. Try to choose something that not only makes your pelvis and back feel good, but that's going to keep you in that state of big blue sky breathing. So as you settle, now our body's coming into stillness, and our flow isn't the moving body, but just the feeling of yielding. This is a whole unique set of flow. Yielding into the earth is a flow. And of course, the flow of the breath. So as you settle, make sure you're comfortable. Can you let your body feel an element? Imagine water, maybe, moving like you are in a river and the water's flowing through your body from your crown to your feet. Maybe wind, if you're a fan of wind, maybe air flowing from your crown down to your feet, out your arms. If you're a fire fan, maybe warm flame moving. So have some elementals support you in flow, in that sense of cleansing, clearing out, creating space in body and mind. Relax everything you can. Are there any blocks in your body? Is there tension in your skull, your face, your eyes, your tongue, your hands, your chest, your belly? Just find any places that could be holding. And let the element move through you and let you rest and surrender. Let's begin to move our breath again. Find movement in your body that helps you emerge from deep places. Start to connect your presence to the space around you. Let's go ahead and find some movement rolling around to your side. Use your arms to help yourself upright. And as we come to a comfortable seat, feel your breath, feel your body, feel your mind. See if you can notice if there's a little more clarity, a little more space. Offer your energy outward. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful